This is Valley News Live at noon.
We start with breaking news this afternoon. Police say several gunshots were fired in South Fargo this morning. They've been combing the area just east of 45th Street and 18th Avenue South, where police heard gunshots and police found shell casings. Valley News Team's JC Dodd is live on scene with the latest. JC?
Yeah, Brian, around 9:50 this morning, gunshots were heard at this location, 4300 block of 18th Avenue South. I spoke with the co-owner of 4 Star Ninja, who says he heard 2 to 3 loud pops, which he thought was either construction or fireworks. But once Fargo police showed up, they confirmed it was in fact gunshots. He says he took the kids back into a secure location in his building, where he said they were pretty shaken up. And Fargo police searched the ground, where they found several shell casings on the pavement of the road behind me. They say there are no injuries as of now. They still have no suspect nor a vehicle that they are looking for. For now, in Fargo, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
Thanks for that live report, JC. If you saw anything in the area this morning, you're asked to text Fargo PD to 847-411. Well, storms this morning kept some people in the dark and has others calling their insurance agent today. At South Moorhead by Woodlawn Park, a large tree branch fell off and smashed a windshield of the car below. Moorhead Public Service, Xcel Energy, and Cass County Electric were all reporting power outages. Now here's a live look at Xcel Energy's outage map. Most people in the Fargo-Moorhead area are back online. Xcel says crews are working to restore power as quickly and safely as possible, and everything should be restored this afternoon. Now, Holly also got hit hard by this morning's storm. Take a look at this video taken near the radio grounds. Skies are gray and full of lightning right before the rain came down. This lasted for over 2 hours with very strong winds. While our crew was at the radio grounds previewing this weekend's event, we did not see any reports or receive any reports as well of any damage in that area. Well, it's finally calmed down after this morning's storms. Let's check in with meteorologist Nathan Hopper. Nathan, a great way to start Friday, I guess.
Yeah, we're getting kind of things out of the way, the active weather out of the way, and setting the stage for a better, more quiet second half of the day, to say the least. But look at this photo. This was sent in by Jessica from North Moorhead. You can see that fairly substantial tree that is just laying on its side. I saw a lot of tree damage, as you saw in that video a few seconds ago from the Moorhead area, of a lot of tree damage. And this one, of course, sent in to our website, valleynewslive.com. Also, this one from west of Lemoore. Tammy uploaded this one, shared this one with us to our website of some trampoline damage there in the Lemoore area. She sent in quite a few pictures from that Lemoore area of just various damage from those winds that we saw from this morning. And this one, a beautiful shot. This one, Mike sent this one in from south of Grand Forks. The shelf cloud that moved right into Grand Forks and was beautiful to see right when it was approaching town. Look at the darkness there under that shelf cloud. I also caught the shelf cloud on our home economy tower cam. This was from this morning around 5:06 a.m. I'm going to step out of the way and play this one for you and let you watch that shelf cloud roll right into Grand Forks with the strong winds and that heavy rainfall. You can see the camera shaking there with those winds that were intense. So good news is things are quieting down to get a lot of wind reports from our North Dakota side of the Red River. But the good news is, as I said, things are really quiet now. But of course, we'll talk more, Brian, about what we can expect for the rest of today and for the weekend coming up in a few minutes.
We'll stay tuned with you in a few minutes and find out what to expect.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Nathan. Well, police say alcohol may have been a factor in a fatal crash in Bemidji. Police responded to the 1200 block of Dalton Avenue Northwest just before 4:30 in the morning for a car that collided with a tree in a yard. Officers began performing CPR on the driver, who was taken to Sanford and pronounced dead. Police say they won't release the name of the driver until the family is notified. The crash remains under investigation. Well, Grand Forks police want your help identifying this person of interest. Authorities say he's involved in a cell phone theft case. The person has a tattoo on their upper right arm. You'll see an arrow pointing to it on your screen. If you have any information about this person, call police. The number 701-787-8000. We have exclusive video of the last in the series of armed robberies before a Fargo man's arrest. Take a look. The owner of Mr. Money on 33rd Street South in Fargo says the man who robbed them at gunpoint yesterday afternoon was Hunter Havesto. You can see him aiming a gun at them and demanding cash from the register. Police nabbed Havesto about 3 hours later in South Fargo. Now, just seconds after the gunman leaves Mr. Money, an employee grabs a gun and follows the guy out of the store. Police say the employee fired multiple shots at the getaway car. The employee says it was not in an attempt to hurt Harvisto, but to mark that vehicle and make it identifiable to police and the public. But Hunter Harvisto's father tells us he's contacting an attorney about what you just saw. Josh Harvisto doesn't think the employee should have chased his son out of the store, shooting at him because he says Hunter wasn't a threat if he had to be chased. Plus, he says the bullets could have hit anyone. He says he's not standing up for his son, but says that he's sick on drugs and hopes a judge gives him the most time in jail that they can. The Mr. Money holdup is one of 4 armed robberies since Tuesday that Harvisto has suspected of. He's in the Cass County Jail on 5 robbery charges, 1 burglary charge, and 2 charges of auto theft. Many medical groups recommend cancer patients and survivors receive the COVID-19 vaccine, but there are some questions about the effectiveness of the shot for this group. As Laura Podesta reports, researchers in Ohio are launching a study to understand how the vaccine impacts those patients.
Dave Hill knows about quarantining. Even before the pandemic, the 63-year-old had to isolate after receiving intense chemotherapy and then a stem cell transplant for lymphoma.
I've been doing this since mid-2018, and I said, so if you think you're stir crazy, you should, be in my shoes.
The stakes got even higher when COVID hit.
There was an extremely high anxiety about any kind of infection. I just had to continue to be very diligent.
Cancer treatment can affect the immune system, which can leave patients susceptible to infections. Experts recommend most cancer patients and survivors receive the COVID-19 vaccine, but there are some unknowns.
There are some patients where we're not measuring as good an antibody response as what we would like to see. However, we have no idea whether or not that's still sufficiently protective. But there may very well be a subset of patients who need to get boosters more often. This is what we're trying to figure out.
Dr. Peter Shields is leading a study at the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center, enrolling vaccinated patients with and without cancer. Participants provide weekly saliva samples to test for COVID and blood samples to measure immune response.
I hope it protects me, and I hope it protects everybody else.
Dave is taking part in the research.
This is one thing that came in that allowed me to participate and pay back to those people who helped me and who are helping others.
He's fully vaccinated, in remission, and grateful. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
There are more than 17 million cancer survivors in the United States. Motorcycle crash deaths are going up and has authorities warning people to be careful. Last year in North Dakota, 93% of all reported motorcycle crashes resulted in injury or death. This year, preliminary numbers show deaths are trending higher, with 26 already reported. Authorities say motorcycle safety courses can save lives. Some are happening this weekend in West Fargo. The classroom portion is tonight, and participants will be on the course Saturday and Sunday. The address is 3420 Cheyenne Street in West Fargo. Bucking horses, bull riders, and rodeo clowns are just a few things to expect at the Hawley Rodeo this weekend. The PRCA Rodeo is celebrating 61 years in Hawley, Minnesota. A Minnesota National Guard soldier will be honored each night at 7. You'll get to see rodeo contestants and Team Ghost Riders will perform. As the Hawley Rodeo was canceled last year, it's especially important this year to run the big show.
Rodeo, you don't get paid unless you win. So these people, they show up, they pay their entry fees, they want to run that calf or get on that horse, because if they don't, they didn't make any money and they spent all that fuel money.
The rodeo is tonight and tomorrow night starting at 7. You can see the prices and location on the screen. Full details on valleynewslive.com. Well, coming up at noon, pooches from around the nation will soon be competing for Best in Show.
The Westminster Dog Show is back. I'm Elise Preston with the new breeds and the new look of this year's show.
Plus, after a morning of storms, calmer and a bit cooler. Nathan Hopper checks your forecast.